Welcome to Strang Theory. It's Wednesday night. Pay no mind to the man behind the curtain. A secret guitar. Well, it's not anymore, but we're here with you. Just me and the gingembre. Gingembre. Just like old times. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying a Modelo. Right now.
Enjoy it right about yours.
And it's an exciting night here on Strang Theory. Just want to thank our partners, of course, as we always do every night. Boucher, Levy's, G&G, Citadel Music, Brickhouse Guitars, K&K Sound. Love you guys. Just ordered a bunch more pickups today. Gallagher, Dave Mathis, and all the crew down in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Thank you so much. Recording King, Alvarez Yeri. Going to be news from those guys very, very soon. Yamaha Canada. Where's my FG fucking 9? James Martin Instruments. Cody Guitars. D'Addario, The Arc. Apollo Picks. Epiphone Gibson. Close Guitars. Blue Chip Picks. Toe Slap! LR Bags, which is another... There's so much news. Maestro Hogan Guitars in Singapore. George Crackett Guitars. Tone Traveler.
You can only see a very small part of the box.
This thing actually works. I'm testing it right now. Also, we must say thanks to two new partners. Zager Guitars out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Thanks, guys. Review on the way. And the newest partner of Strang Theory and the JP Cormier channel. Something I've been waiting for a long time is Emerald Guitars are in the house. How is the this thing? I'm going to be reviewing this in the next few days, and I've had a difficult time getting the review started because when I got it up here and played it and plugged it in, and it's going to take me a few days to peel my face off the walls because not only is this one of the most brilliant probably the most brilliant carbon fiber guitar I've ever seen in my life, it's one of the best instruments I've ever played. It's just, it's unbelievable. But we're going to take a close look at it when we review it. So if you ever want to know, you know, you've heard me talk about Close. I love those guys. They're the working man's guitar. If you ever want to know what would happen if luthiers got the notion to build guitars in a carbon fiber and take it to some other level altogether, these guys have done it. And I can see why, it was a long time thinking about it, why people who play these guitars won't play anything else. And wait till you hear more about it. It'll just blow your mind. Anyhow, so this is exciting, super exciting. They're built in Donegal, Ireland. Alistair Hay is the guy who invented this. He actually used to build F1 racers out of carbon fiber. That's why he knows so much about this process. And they are just amazing. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's reviews coming up. We got Boucher introducing new things that are already been done. They're all uploaded and ready to drop on Monday evenings. We've got Zager, like I said. We've got new stuff from Hogan and Brickhouse Guitars. And we're starting to go into Capo Corner, so I want to talk about that for a second too. Besides all this new stuff. Oh, and also Charmed Life Picks has signed on. They sent me some plectrum. I love these things. They're just amazing. Scott Mimmer is the guy who owns this and builds these picks by hand in the States. And they're just beautiful casein. Just amazing. I love these things. And right up there with every other. You can choose. You have a great deal of choice these days for picks. So this is yet another company that's making incredible plectrum. And another thing I love about this guy is that they donate a part of their proceeds to save the turtles that have been used traditionally for picks for hundreds of years, right? And he puts money into their preservation. And so that's a good thing. You've heard me talk about that. There's absolutely no need of killing an animal for a pick there's no need of it. These sound just as good and there's many other companies that build picks that sound just as good or better than tortoise without all of the death and destruction of an animal, and plus these don't chip, break, crack, flake. You don't have to shape them yourself. You know what I mean? So good on you, Scott, and thanks for the picks, and you're a partner with us for forever. I got one in my pocket right now. I'll probably be doing the entire Christmas tour with it. And where was I going? There was another thing I started to say. Oh, yes. So we've, again, getting ready for, we've only got 6 more spots for the big December giveaway. So there's some big news today. Brickhouse Guitars. Roger Schmidt has agreed to provide a guitar in the giveaway. Not just any guitar, a Bridgeport. And you've seen me review them on here. They're incredible guitars. And he's going to provide one of those. But I want you to help me out. Roger, as you know, has been a huge supporter of me, Dave Gunning. He's worked with a bevy of artists over the years, providing instruments, providing repair, installs, advice. Like the guy, like we've talked about before on the channel, Roger's a tastemaker, and he's been helping me for 30 years almost, and Dave just as long. And he's got a YouTube channel that's doing really well, but he needs it to be bigger. So I'm asking all you guys, go find his channel, Brickhouse Guitars on YouTube, and hit subscribe. He's got hundreds of videos. If you're looking for a guitar, and you've seen me review like many of the guitars that he sells, anything by Firk, Hogan, Maestro, Avenir, Bridgeport, Boucher. He sells Boucher. He sells Pelerin. He sells what else is in there? Good Lord. There's so many guitars in there. And he does videos for every guitar in the store. Like high quality 4K videos, primo audio. And he's a monstrous guitar player. So go help him out. Let's get my String Theory and my JP Cormier channel guys together and go over to Brickhouse Guitars on YouTube. Just search Brickhouse, you'll find him. And hit subscribe and hit like, and you won't be sorry, because it's just pure guitar porn. That whole channel, him playing everything you could imagine under the sun. So again, he's giving us a Bridgeport guitar that he designed, and it's going to be part of the package. We have Levy's leather straps is going to be involved in the package. Variety of really cool picks, like probably 1 or 2 of these. Some tone slat, like whatever. I'm going to put together some really cool packages. The first place winner, of course, is going to get the guitar.
Is there any restriction on country?
No. I actually checked with that to make sure, because the last time we almost shit ourselves. But Roger, because the guitars are built where they're built offshore to begin with, there's no wood in them that has any moratorium. He can ship worldwide, and we decided, like, whatever. He told me the most he would be looking at, even shipping to the other side of the world, would be $300, and I'm going to cover it. So there you go. whoever gets that guitar is going to have a great guitar. And I feel probably the best thing about getting a guitar from Roger is getting to know Roger. That's the best thing about dealing with Brickhouse, because he's one of the nicest human beings that I've ever known in my entire life. So, yeah, it's going to be good. Go over to his channel, Brickhouse Guitars, on YouTube, and subscribe and get his, because he needs about, I don't know, he's over 1,000. He's doing pretty good, but he needs 10,000. He should have 10,000, and because he's providing so many great tools to players like all over the world. He broke Firk and Stonebridge here in this continent. He designs and sells one of the best sensor pickups in the world, SGI pickups. I use them as well as my K&Ks. Like he's just into everything. So getting to know him and getting to take a look at that shop and see, everything that's in there, it's awesome. So help my buddy. And he's going to help us out with the Christmas draw. And there you go. I've probably forgot some things, but yeah. So there's going to be reviews. There's lots of reviews coming up. We got the Emerald review. We've got a couple of Maestro built Avenir guitars to review. A Hosen, a custom-made Hosen, one of a kind. We've got a big something huge coming in from Epiphone tomorrow. It's supposed to arrive here. Just so many things. The Tone Traveler. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff. So, yeah, keep your eyes open. It's going to be the next 3 or 4 months. There'll be lots of reviews. Sometimes we might even cram 2 of them in a week. But we've already got all the Mondays taken care of between now and New Year's Day. There'll be new reviews dropping on Christmas night and New Year's Eve night. And yeah, so there you go. We're part of your holiday season. And the first Christian, God, that guitar looks pretty in that picture, doesn't it? Ooh. The first Christian goes to.
Sorry, I'm chatting.
And thanks to Mark Hogan, who is the Emerald rep, who's a good Irishman, and he lives in Rome, of all things. And so we WhatsApp each other. And it gets crazy because the time difference is 6 or 7 hours. So he's 6-7 hours ahead of us.
Is he the one that was sending messages this morning?
Yeah, he works all night long. He stays up all night over there because he works so much with North American dealers and players. So he usually he's a night owl, sleeps through the day, and has to be up all night doing his business, right? Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool. It's really cool. But you'll get lots more information as we go forward. So. Next. Well, who's the first person?
It's a highlighted chat from Jim Waller.
Jim Waller. How you doing, my friend?
He's been a master guitar head for 28 months.
Yes, he has. He's one of my good friends.
Have you ever done a show with a Taylor ES2 system? How did you mix and 28-month guitar head? Wow.
Taylor.
Taylor ES2.
Never heard of it. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it must be some sort of a Bose style sound system, but yeah, I am not a huge fan of Taylor, and I'm just not a fan of Taylor. So we've gone into that before, but if they make sound systems, I would hope that they sound better than their guitars.
Not all their guitars.
Sorry,
are bad.
but. Yeah. No. Old Taylors are deadly. But what they're putting out now is just, I'm not even sure why they're doing it. And I'm not the only one who says that. So I don't feel bad about that. I've had a lot of guitar players, look at me and go, what? This is what they've decided to do. So I don't know. Whatever. They're making millions of dollars. I'm making I'm 100 air. So they must be doing something right. Next.
I'm off the ball. We got a super chat from Colin Dolan.
Colin Dolan, an Irishman right there, boys. Mm-hmm. He knows all about Emerald.
Mm-hmm. Good to see you back, JP. Do you have any experience with Squire guitars? I recently bought a high-end Squire fretless jazz bass, and I'm very impressed with it, considering the money I paid.
Well, when I was a kid, that's all we could afford was the Squire version. of the Fender line, right? So you can think of Squire as being the same as Epiphone is to Gibson. So Squire was the Asian or Mexican built version of all the Fender guitars, and I owned all kinds of them, and my buddies all owned them, and I even to this day I don't own it anymore because I don't need it. I have a lot of electric guitars and barely play them. So I had an anniversary edition of the Squire Telecaster, and it was unbelievable. Like, it's just, I think the Squire line, to me, and even like some of the older ones, are sought after because they were great guitars. They might have been, made with cheaper materials or whatever the case may be, but they were wicked guitars. So if there's nothing you can't go wrong buying a Squire. They put a lot of care into building those instruments, even though they're built in big factories outside the United States. But I get the yawns every time I do string theory. I don't know what the hell that is. It's from talking too much.
Don't breathe enough.
Anyhow, yeah, Squire, can't say enough about him. When I see a Squire that catches my eye in a store, whether it be a pawn shop or a brand new one, and there's all kinds of them now at Long and McQuaid in Canada. Most of them are gone. See, that's what I mean. The commemorative issues came out a year and a half ago, and now they're hard to find because they're Squires. People swear by that. So yeah, if you got a good one, keep a hold of her. Next.
Oh, that question about the Taylor ES2. The ES2 is a pickup.
Oh, the expression system. Yeah. Okay. Well. All right. So the first expression system is what caused me to stop playing Taylors. It was perhaps the worst sounding pickup that has ever been put in a guitar, besides something that has a Fishman undersaddle in it. It was horrible. The B string sounded magnetic, like you had an old DiMarzio sound hole pickup in the guitar. Then they made changes to it. So the new expression system is better, but it's not, it's too floppy. That's the only way I can describe it. The sound is fat and non-distinct, and they're just not designed for. You want to take a look, okay? If you want to know how good a pickup system is, or a guitar is, look at who is playing what, okay? You don't see Tommy Emmanuel or Richard Smith or me or anybody, any of these guys playing Taylors, because they can't do what like heavy duty pickers and fingerstyle players can do. They're designed for Nashville players to strum rhythm on and look cool. That's what they are. They're for strumming. They're not for playing linear things, complicated things, stuff with a huge flat pick, that a rigid flat pick that's going to show all of the shortfalls of the pickup, right? So that's my take on it. Like their pickup sounds fine as long as you're playing rhythm with a .75 nylon pick. It sounds pretty damn close to a guitar through a microphone. But as soon as you start to hit it hard, it absolutely folds under the pressure. The pressure it can't push out what a K&K does, or what a really good bag system does, like the Anthem Pro that has the UST and the microphone inside blended. It just can't do it. It can't. It just doesn't have the I don't even know how to describe it. The only thing I can compare it to is it turns all the strings into marshmallow. That's the only way I can describe it. It just sounds fat and soft and non-distinct and just not good for playing intricate things. It's it's kind of useless to me. It might be good for somebody else, but it can't stand up to the rigors of what a flat picker does, or somebody who plays really heavy fingerstyle. Like you don't see guys who are capable of doing that kind of stuff playing them. So it's obvious that they're not building guitars for that market. They're building guitars for stage guys who are playing a guitar because they're leading the band and they want to play rhythm and they want to sound pretty good while they're doing it and look good, because Taylors are beautiful guitars. Doesn't mean they sound great. It just means they look great, and they're pretty forgiving. You know, you plug them in, play your rhythm, it's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to sound like a guitar, and that's about where that ends, I'm afraid. I wish I had better things to say about it, but I can't, because I remember when Taylor built incredible sounding guitars acoustically, and at the time, the best thing in the market was the Fishman Matrix Pro, and that's what they used in these guitars, and they balanced them perfectly, and they had a great EQ on board, and it had, I think it even had a blender. I think there was even a mic or a transducer involved, like a stick-on or something in there. But they sounded unbelievable. I toured with those guitars for years. And when Taylor decided to change their whole approach and go with Rupert Neve's idea of this expression system, the first one I played, I went, I can't use this. It sounds horrible. Compared to what was in the guitars before, this sounds like shit. So I called Taylor. I called Bob Orbonis, and I said, listen, I can't use this. And I've told this story before. I don't know why I'm telling it again, but I'll say it again. I told Bob Orbonis, I said, listen, I can't use this guitar. I was sitting there with a $6,000, this is a long time ago, this is a $6,000 custom shop Taylor. It was called a Hot Rod. It was a black OM body with wooden red and yellow flames shooting up the neck, inlaid on the neck. It was gorgeous, but it had an ES1 system in it. Called Bob, I said, I can't use this guitar, I gotta send it back. And I said, I'm really pissed because this thing is awesome. What am I supposed to do with this? Because I can't pull the system out because there's a million parts to it. What am I supposed to do? And he said, listen, JP, we love you. We'll build you anything you want. We'll build you another Hot Rod with a Fishman in it, if that's what you want. And I said, yeah, but what about all the guitar players that are expecting to have the Taylor show up like it always did? What about those people? I'm one of them. When I walk into a store now, I'm not going to play any Taylor that I don't see that Fishman box on the side of. You know what he told me? He said, well, we've checked it all out, and he said 50% of the people love this system and 50% hate it. And there was dead silence on the line for about 7 seconds. And I said, so you're telling me you made this decision and you've just alienated half your market? And he said, yes. He said, but this is the cost of change. And that was the last time I talked to any of them. I was just like, I gave up. I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that they would do it. And they keep sort of making those decisions all along the lines over the last 20 years. They keep making these decisions that are not good for pickers, guitar players that would play those guitars, you know, in a big bluegrass band, or you'd see one on stage with Tommy Emmanuel or Gareth Pearson, or, you know what I mean? They just kept making decisions that took them out of that market and put them into two classes. People who just want a nice guitar, because they are beautiful guitars. There's nothing wrong with what they are. A nice guitar to play rhythm on stage and plug in and get your job done. And the other classification is guitars for lawyers and doctors. Guitars that are so expensive and so beautifully built and ornate and all these things that no normal guitar player could ever afford them. You know, you walk into a store and there's a Taylor hanging on the wall, and it's $17,000 in a glass case. That guitar is going to get sold, but it's going to get sold to a rich person who doesn't play music for a living. Who the fuck has that kind of money playing music for a living? Right? So that's what's happened to Taylor over the past 20 years. And like I said, they're selling millions of guitars.
Taylor Swift plays a Taylor, doesn't she?
What's that?
Doesn't Taylor Swift play a Taylor?
Absolutely.
She has like a
She plays a little plywood, weird ass bullshit guitar that's horrendous. But it's what she wants, and that's what she's got.
She has her namesake guitar.
So, yeah, anyhow, that was a long, drawn-out fucking ordeal. Okay, next.
Straight together. Question from Sibdad.
Sibdad, how you doing, buddy?
Have you tried the Martin Kovar strings?
I haven't, but I just learned of them like yesterday. And I'm dying to try a set, but I don't even know where the hell I can find them. They don't appear to be anywhere online that I can order them. I'm gonna ask L&M if they can get in a dozen sets for me, because they seem to be. I'm interested in what they are. They seem to be. They're very intriguing to me.
Why?
Because they're like a Monel string, except apparently they are coated, and so they're a warmer. If what they say is true about them, they're a warmer, fatter sounding string that may be slightly softer feeling than the normal string. They appear to be something like a silken steel. Monels, it's the metal that's used in the winding. They're silver, of course, and I want to see what they're like, because if they harken back to those kind of strings and can retain their life for more than one show, I'd start to use them, right? Especially on certain guitars. I'd want them on certain guitars that I own. I would definitely put them on it. So, yeah, as soon as I know, I'll let you know. Next.
Super chat from Mr. Stephen Baker.
Stephen Becker.
Time for a new mandolin. Durable, reasonable sounding, and light. Any opinions on the upcoming Close Mandos?
They're going to be awesome, because their guitars are awesome. So if they build a mandolin that has the quality that is in their guitars, because, you know, when you look at the difference between Emerald and Close, like I said, is a working man's guitar. There's no frills. It sounds really good, and they're light as a feather, and they come apart. You can take the neck right off and stick it in the bag and put it in your overhead. So they've mastered that. That market is mastered. There's nobody that does that better than them. So if they put that knowledge into a mandolin and are able to, first of all, here's the thing. Many companies don't understand what a mandolin is supposed to sound like, right? A mandolin is supposed to sound like a Gibson F5, a Lloyd Loar, 1923. Like, that was the best mandolins that were ever built, ever. Gibson just put out the reissue of them, and I got to play them at the Gibson Garage a couple weeks ago. They're $28,000 Canadian, but they would be worth every dime. They're that good. I was floored by how good that mandolin was. And so what happens is, when companies delve into mandolin building, they often don't understand what most mandolin players are looking for. And they're not looking for, no offense to anyone, but they're not looking for Celtic styled instruments. They're not looking for something that's buckety and small sounding and very bright and ringing, and you know what I mean. Like most mandolin players, especially in North America, are looking for a bluegrass instrument. So if Close is paying attention, and they try, because that all these things are done, like there's a serious amount of work going into that project. I know there is, because they put a serious amount of work into their guitars. So I hope that what they're doing is trying to sound design because they're all going to be A-style mandolins, which is also great. I love A-styles. I have an A Eastman and an F, but I play the A more often than not. And Ginger's is an A-style as well, and it's a beast mandolin. So what I hope they're doing is I hope they're sound designing based on a North American bluegrass instrument, as opposed to a flat-backed Trinity College Celtic mandolin, because they're two different beasts, right? They're completely different sonically. Now, mind you, if they did go the other route, these mandolins would sell thousands in Europe and Ireland, Scotland, like that. That's the kind of that's the tone profile that they use in those type of bands. But I would like to see Close make a dent in the American bluegrass scene. That's because imagine a mandolin that's indestructible. There's no such thing. There have been other carbon, Rigel, whatever they called them. They were partially carbon or something. They were a weird beast. But they I don't know if they're even around anymore. They didn't stay around because they were so cutting edge. They scared everybody away in design and looks and everything else. But if they make these into trad A-style mandolins that are meant to play up against a banjo and an upright bass, man, it could be deadly. It could be huge. So I'm praying for the boys. I want them to kick this right up the arse and put her out of the park. I can't wait. I've already talked to them about it. I'm gonna be getting one. I might even get a prototype. It's not done yet. They're advertising it now, but I would suspect that we'll hear something about finished product coming out sometime, probably late spring, maybe sooner. I'm going to keep on them to make sure that I can actually, I'd like to have one before they actually release so I could show people, and I'm hoping for the best, but I know I'm going to own one regardless. I may use it for something else. I may use it for, I won't be able to use it in bluegrass, but if it's not a bluegrass instrument, I'll be able to use it in the studio. There's always room for that kind of tone and sound when you're recording, and yeah. So I'm just, either way, I'm going to have one and I'm going to love it because I love what Close does, and I think they've never strayed away from their original mandate, which is to build portable, kick-ass, acoustic-sounding instruments that are indestructible. So, with no frills, no worries, you plug it in, away you go, right? And they need to just keep doing that. If they do that with a mandolin, it could be devastating. A whole bunch of people just be playing all these indestructible A-styles. I'd enjoy that. I'd enjoy that right now. Next.
Super chat from Jamie Reid.
What are you building over there?
I'm putting batteries in the temperature humidity sensor.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Jamie Reid.
Multitasking. Good evening, JP and Ginger. Saw my name on the list last week for the draw. Forgot to email you. I'll send you one if you need me to.
We'll sort it out when we make the draw. If you win, we'll find you. Believe me.
Yeah, it's we need your email address and your mailing address in case you win.
Next.
Yeah. We've got a super chat from Scott Myers.
Scott Myers. That's not new.
Mm-mm.
No.
Hey GP, I bought an Epiphone Excellente about 6 months ago. I was really happy to see your review on it. I absolutely love the guitar. It sounds so good with my Larrivee. Loving the channel, thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, the Excellente is... I have the Excellente and I have the Frontier. And they're both killer guitars. I love those things. Epiphone, when I was down there too a couple of weeks ago, the boys were telling me that, and I'm not supposed to say anything about this, so I can't give you any details anyway, because I don't know them. I don't know the details. But they told me, their exact words were, 2024 is going to be an insane year for Epiphone. So they're just starting. There's something coming, and I'm going to have something here tomorrow that I will review in the next few weeks. There's something coming down the pipe with Epiphone that's going to just tear us all up, because they're on a roll. Like ever since the IBGs came out, and then all these classic reissues like the Frontier and the Excellente, the Texan, like they're doing something. There's something happening inside that company. When I was there with them, you could feel it. They're all really excited. The garage was packed full of people. It's just there's a lot going on there. They're not fooling around. There's 100 people working in that building, and half of them you never see. I go back behind the scenes, sitting in the lounge with these guys, and they're just constantly on their laptops, and they're building market, and they're doing protocol, and they're designing guitars, and it's just insanity. It's so fast paced that, they can barely turn around to answer an email or do anything. Andrew Ladner always gets back to me, and they're all they're behind me 100%, and I them. And it's really cool to see that a name that old with that kind of pedigree and that kind of legacy in the guitar world is making this huge comeback with, new models, new designs, coming from different shops and factories than they ever did before. But they're still maintaining the level, the regular, the made in China base model Epiphones that beginners buy, right? Because they want to have a guitar that looks like a Gibson, and they buy a nice $700 Epiphone. Those guitars are super. But then you crawl up out of that and you get into the Inspired by Gibson line, and then other things, which I'm going to show you over the next couple of months. It's just crazy to watch them go and do everything they're doing. It's pretty awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm a guitar player, and every time I get to see one of these things happen in the guitar world, it's exciting. It's just exciting. Makes me want to have one. Makes me want to play more. Makes me want to, after people talk to me about certain guitars that I have, I come up here and I pull mine out and I start playing it. And I'm like, yeah, this is why everybody's talking about this, right? It's exactly what happened with the Emerald. I've heard so many people talk about this company, never realized until I got this thing in my hand what the hell was going on. And now I know. And it's just amazing. I've said this a million times before, but it's a great time in the world right now to be a guitar player. It's awesome. It's the best time. I'll be playing in January. I will have been playing 50 years, and I've never seen anything like this. It's a cornucopia of choices and builders and styles, and you couldn't pick a better time to be a player or start playing. So, which is another thing. Don't forget to go to mastermusicmethod.com. The school is up and running. It's working fabulous. Mr. Baker is in charge of it now. And you can go to www.mastermusicmethod.com, and you can sign up for lessons directly from me that look like I'm sitting in the room with you. And it's a great site. And we worked on it a lot of years. It's 10 years we developed that. and we'll continue. We're going to continue to put content up. There's a metric shit ton of content there now that could keep you busy for 2 years, and the price is right. I think it's only $22 a month or $20 a month or something like that. It's incredible. A tenth of what you'd pay to go pay a private teacher at your local store or whatever. So, and you do it all in your own time, your own pace. And so check that out too. Anyhow, I went off on a marketing tangent there. Sorry.
Ad break.
Yes?
We have a highlighted chat from Neil Hudson.
Neil Hudson.
He's been a member for 33 months.
Yes, he has. Mm-hmm. God bless your heart, buddy.
I tuned my boucher down half a step, and now I get some string buzz when I put a capo on the first fret. Is it a neck adjustment problem?
Yes. So you have to, if you're gonna take the pressure off the neck that much, which isn't that much, but it depends on how low the action was before you started. If you were pretty low, like bouchers play really easy. So if the action was a bit low before you tuned down, I would go in and just loosen the truss a little bit, 1/8 of a turn, just to bring up like a millimeter. And if you play the guitar a lot, also keep an eye on the slots in the nut, because I've had one boucher out of 14, but I played the crap out of it, right? That's why.
And you also tune that string a lot.
Yeah, I had a slot wear out, and so they had to replace the nut. And I just literally wore it out from tuning it and moving it and playing it. And so you got to be careful, because they use real bone and sometimes micarta, but they can have a bad batch of that stuff, especially bone. So, but they'll fix it in a heartbeat, no problem. But you shouldn't have any problem. The only thing you really got to worry about is your truss. I would raise the action a hair. If you're going to drop a half tone, just a hair. I mean, 1/8 of a turn, loosen it to the counterclockwise. And that should fix the problem. And otherwise, when you do tune guitars low, you're going to have to get used to some buzzing, because unless you want to crank your action way up, which you don't want to do, it's natural for the guitar to buzz with that much tension reduced from what it's supposed to be. So your truss should fix the problem, but don't be shocked if you have a little bit of rattle, because it's just the way it is. Unless you've got your action set super high nut, high saddle, you're going to have a little bit of buzz, because a guitar, especially a boucher, is designed to play at 440, perfect action, perfect intonation, right? So you should be fine. You should be fine. Just give her a little tweak, 1/8 of a turn. And if it has to, a 1/4 turn, but 1/8 is all it should take, just to bring that neck forward like a hair. And you should be okay. Next.
Super chat from Stephen Baker.
Stephen Baker.
Looking into ear training. Beato has a course that is reviewed well. Other suggestions?
What was the first part about ear?
He's looking into ear training.
You know what? I can't speak to it, and I'm not informed about other people's ear training. I don't know how. Ear training is a very kind of bullshit claim that everybody makes the same way. They say that, oh, you can play in 2 weeks, and you can do this, and you can do that. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. You either have an ear or you don't. And if you don't have one, the only way to get one is to play. To play and play always with your guitar tuned at 440 all the time, and concentrate on what it is that you're hearing.
Well, that's what ear training is, isn't it?
No. There's methods that they claim.
Play things and tell you what they are, so you can
match
up
there's easy methods, they say, that can cause you to have perfect pitch. That's a load of bullshit. There's no such thing. As there's no such thing as teaching somebody to play in 2 weeks or learning to do this or anything in any quick amount of time. You have to. Music is a craft. It isn't a recipe that you put in a pot and it's done in 20 minutes. It's a craft, and if you love it, which you should, playing is where the joy is in. And when you play, you learn. Your ear learns, your hands learn, and that's the secret. There is no secret. You cannot learn anything about music quickly. It's just not going to happen. So you have to be prepared to practice every day, understand what you're playing, right? I go into all this in the school. Because that's how I teach people. I don't tell them, okay, when you leave here, you're going to play Smoke in the Water, like slow-moving water.
Slow-moving water?
Fire engine guy. I don't tell them that, because that's bullshit. And I could teach them how to play Stairway to Heaven in 20 minutes. But that has nothing to do with being a musician. Nothing. It's a bland repetition of notes that you memorize and learn, and because you're familiar with it from hearing it on a record, you suddenly think you're a guitar player. You're full of shit. You're not a guitar player. You're just a parrot for 12, 14 seconds that you can do the thing that's on the record. It doesn't mean anything. The real joy in playing guitar is learning how to play and why you do things a certain way to get certain sounds out of a guitar. And all the tools that you collect in your brain while you're learning that help you learn the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. It's all cumulative, right? It never stops growing and feeding on each other. You learn this, it causes you to learn that. Oh, then you'll use those two things to learn this fourth thing, this eighth thing, this 16th thing. And that's the way it works. And that's how ear works. If you don't practice playing and understanding that this is an A and this is a B, or B, there's all kinds of signals that you can send yourself to know what those are, right? A is the second string down from the top. The B is the second string up from the bottom. Those physical signals you can send yourself, naming the note, knowing what it is. After practice, you start to know, and it's like, oh, I can hear that without playing it. Someone else is playing it, but I hear that note. Oh,
but isn't that what ear training is?
Yeah, but there's what he's talking about, and I'm sure what Beato's talking about.
Because you can't train perfect pitch, you can train pitch recognition.
It's some gimmick. Anybody who's trying to sell you something like that is lying.
I don't think Beato would sell bullshit.
Yeah, he would. He would. Because Beato has a doctorate in music. Like he can say anything he wants to. He's a master of theory.
So he'd be able to teach someone how to recognize notes?
Could he? Is it really going to be like, unless he's, see, that's what I mean. That's why I'm saying this. It doesn't matter. I love Rick Beato. I think he's brilliant. But anybody who goes online and says, I'm going to sell you this thing, this system, this idea, and it's going to achieve this for you in X amount of days or weeks, whatever, bullshit. I never say that in my school because it's not true. My school is designed to keep people practicing forever and giving information that they can use to not only figure out what I'm telling them, but to figure out stuff on their own, right? So that's why I automatically say, as soon as somebody goes, I have an ear training system, and it costs $29.95. It used to be $100. Now it's $49.95. It used to be $100. As soon as I hear that, I just go, no, there's no way. There's just no way. If it was that easy, everybody would have perfect pitch. It's that simple, right? So I don't know what he's selling, but the way I've seen him sell it, and I know by the way he's talking, that it's the same thing that everybody else says. It's the same, oh, I can teach you X in X weeks. I can do this in X months. You can be playing like a pro in 60 days. And
I can teach you to fly a plane in 30 days.
What's that?
I can teach you to fly a plane in 30 days.
Yeah, but would you get on the plane as a passenger with me after 30 days? I don't think so.
I didn't say you could teach me an airline pilot.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. You could teach me all day. There's no goddamn way you'd be in the back of the plane when I take off for the first time by myself. And that's what I'm telling everybody. So I'm sure Rick, whatever his system is, it's probably valid, but it's not really what you need to do to be a great player. There's no quick fix. I don't have it. He doesn't have it. Nobody has it. The fix is falling in love with guitar and playing it and getting a little more out of it every day. Every day you get 1 millimeter better and 1 millimeter better. And then all of a sudden you start to get 4 millimeters better and 4 and then 8 and it keeps growing exponentially, and you don't even realize the level of your progression because you're having too much fun. You're not thinking about how much muscle memory is built by one simple thing, or how much easier you can recognize this note than you could 6 months ago, because you've played stuff that has that note in it, which is a drop D on the E string, right? You've played stuff, you've learned stuff, and as soon as you hear that, those two notes together, you instantly go, damn, that's drop D. Because I've done something in that tuning. I know what that sounds like. And that's ear training. It isn't something that some exercise you can do that's going to cause you to be able to sing a perfect major scale in pitch. There's no training for that. Just practice. Practice. There's no magic pill. And yeah, that's what I want to avoid, is magic pillitis. It's very disturbing.
What you have is magic pillitis.
Yeah, no magic pill. Practice your ass off. Play till your fucking fingers bleed. That's how you get good. And Jack is
wandering about in the rain.
Wandering about on the porch for some unknown reason.
Yeah, he wanted to, so...
Okay, next.
I'll highlight a chat from Bram Avery.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, JP, for solo shows, vocal / guitar, in a small venue, would you run an amp into the PA or just straight amp into mic into PA? Sorry, just straight amp or mic into PA.
It depends on the size of the venue. Like,
he's a smaller.
Yeah. Normally, even in tiny venues, I require some kind of PA for my vocals and just leave the guitar through the amp. My Fishman can cover a whole room if I'm playing for, if I was doing a really small venue, it's like 40 or 50 people, I would just have sound reinforcement for my vocals. And the amp would be just facing the audience. And anything bigger than that, both things have to go through the PA. And that's it. That's all there is to her. Okay, next.
Oh, we're squeaking. Highlight a chat from Mark Smith.
Mark Smith.
Just noticed the leather and dust vinyl leaning on the lamp. Nice. Will these be available at your upcoming Christmas shows?
They will be. Come and get 5.
Yes.
Correct.
Super chat from Jamie Reid.
Jamie Reid.
Is Tone Right the only device to do what it does, or is there other options that you recommend?
Is what?
The Tone Right?
Oh, Tone Right, yes.
Are there other options that you recommend? Thinking about getting something like that.
Well, this right here, the Tone Traveler. Yes, Dr. Herringbone. Look it up online. Dr. Herringbone's Tone Traveler. This thing is amazing. It comes with its own tablet. Everything's all set up. Like, I had it working in 5 seconds. And it's literally just, it's over there charging right now.
Which really says more than people think it says, because you give up really easy when things are very complicated.
What?
With electronics, you're always like, Megan, help me.
No, I didn't. I mean, that's fairly complicated. I understood it immediately.
That's what I mean. Like, it's either well set up or it's like well explained. It says a lot that you can do it.
Well, that's not even just you. So, what I'm trying to tell you is that this system is really cool. It comes with its own tablet. It's automatically set up to go. You hook it up, put it on the guitar. You can choose to. It vibrates at at 440, all 6 notes. It doesn't just vibrate, it plays the tone. It plays those notes, and it's really interesting. I'm going to try it. They say to leave it on 8 hours at a time, and it seems to me it would work very well, because it's not just vibrating the top. It's playing E, A, D, G, B, E. At the proper interval, right? And so you can also it works on multiple instruments, fiddle, banjo, bass, and you can even choose to have it vibrate chords. So if you have a guitar that you feel is lacking in projection or volume in a certain key, you can set it to ring in a B, or a D chord, or an E chord, or single strings. You can just, if you get a guitar that has a weak big E string, you can set it to just vibrate that note. So it's really something. I was amazed with it. I thought this is going to be too complicated to bother with, and when I opened it up, it came out of the box working, like completely set up. Boom! I turned it on, turned the pad on. They linked up automatically. It's really cool. So I don't know how much these are. I don't think they're that expensive, but this is a really, really cool product. So I'm going to be reviewing it and talking about how well it does. I'm going to use it on one of my Avenir OMs there, which is already a shit hot guitar, so this could only make it better. But anyhow, the Tone Traveler by Dr. Herringbone. And I met these guys in Chicago this summer, and they also make tremendously good picks. They make a wicked pick.
It's $300.
What?
$300.
Yeah, so it's worth it. Everyone is using these. Ricky Skaggs uses them. Jake Workman. There's a bevy of guys that are already using these and swear by them, and I can kind of see why. So I will know more after, because I'm using a guitar. I'm doing it on a guitar that I'm actually cutting a record with right now. So I will literally be able to A/B what the guitar sounded like on the first cuts we did, and with what the guitar starts to sound like throughout the album. I'll be able to hear it and record it. So I'll be able to tell you if it actually works, and probably be able to put a pretty realistic percentage of improvement. When I'm talking to you, I'll be able to say, yeah, it's 20% better, it's 18% better, it's fucking 40, 50, I don't care. I'll be able to figure it out, I'll be able to hear it, which is an interesting concept, because most times you can't do that with these sort of things, because you don't, it's hard to tell how much it affects a guitar when you don't have it stored somewhere. You can't store that sound except in your head, right? So it's an interesting idea that we're going to use it on a guitar that's in the process of making a whole album. And I'll be able to give it a thorough review at the end of that process. So keep an eye out for that over the next, in about probably 2 or 3 months' time, I'll have a report on how it worked. Next.
Super chat from Larry Reindress.
Larry Reindress, local Larry.
What are you still looking for in a guitar that you haven't found yet?
Nothing. I have the best guitars I've ever seen in my life in this room. There's nothing. Frankly, the only thing that I have never seen before that shocked me was this guitar here. That a carbon instrument could be like this one is. It's floored me. I didn't know I wanted one till I had it. That's sort of the idea behind it. But other than that, there really isn't anything. I have ornate guitars. I have every body size. I have multiple builders. I have multiple tone woods. I can't think of anything. There really isn't anything that I'm very thankful for what I have sitting in this room and the amount of kindness that's been shown to me by all of these builders. And I wouldn't take anything for them. Like this, it's just yeah. I mean, it's like, honestly, once you play a Boucher, it's kind of like that's the pinnacle of all things for me. And then you have these other builders that are up there with Robin, like George Crackett and Gallagher and David Flameng. And I mean, there's really nothing I could point to and go, well, I don't have this. Because I do. I have all of that. So,
all of the thises.
All of the thises. Kurnerxt.
Super chat from Stephen Baker.
Stephen Baker.
Where are the old lady clothes this week?
The what?
The old lady clothes? I don't know. Is that Chris? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Shirts? T-shirts?
God
Shirts?
knows.
I'm not sure.
Next.
Super chat from Scott Belcher.
Hey, Scott. How you doing, buddy?
Ever played Bedell guitars?
I have not, but I've heard nothing but good things about those guitars. It's another instrument that I'll never be able to get my hands on because they're so goddamn expensive and rightfully so. Like he's a world-class builder. He's like, pre-war, and there's a bunch of those companies, Bedell, Pellerin, that are just like Huss and Dalton is another company they're just super elite, expensive guitars. Like they don't make many guitars, and they just it's just one of those. It's one of those deals. I would never be able to have one because I can't afford it, and I wouldn't feel right about taking one from those guys. I don't want the responsibility of having a $25,000 guitar here. Like, I just don't want that. I mean, I'd be happy to go where they build them and play them and talk about them. That'd be awesome. But yeah, it'd be scary to have that kind of stuff laying around. It's just like, and plus, as many guitars as I have, unfortunately only play one at a time. So
You have to work on that.
a lot of my guitars, even though they all get played, they all run through the cycle, they all get toured every year, it'd be a sin to have that guitar sitting around for 2 or 3 months not doing anything. So, yeah, Bedell's tremendous name. They've been around for a long time. I've known about them forever. Yeah. Kurnerxt.
Super chat from Terry Short.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Boucher. What strings do you recommend?
Light gauge, Elixir Phosphor Bronze, or D'Addario XS. That's all I use. Either brand. You'll find that the XS are a bit stiffer, heavier feeling, and which is good for certain style. Like, I love them for that. And Elixirs are a little bit softer feeling and a bit more forgiving. But I think the D'Addarios could last longer than the Elixirs, but it's hard to say. They're both awesome. But I actually prefer, especially on my dreadnoughts, I prefer the XS because they are a stiffer feeling string, and you can hit them with more confidence and not have them go, like an Elixir could do that sometimes. They're a bit softer. So yeah. Go next.
Super chat from Lunchbox McGee.
Lunchbox McGee.
Sounds like something you would name, a name you would give someone.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Hi JP. Thoughts or experience using the LR Baggs Align preamp EQ pedal with the K&K Pure Mini pickup? If not, would you consider doing a review?
Which pedal?
LR Baggs Align preamp EQ pedal.
I don't know that pedal, but I can tell you this. When I'm live with gunning without my amplifier, I always use an LR Baggs Venue DI, which is the larger, and it's deadly, and I use it with K&K. So, like, LR Bags has consistently been the best external EQ system ever made. I used their Para EQ DI for my fiddle for 25 years. I've used their floor model stuff for 20 years. All of their pedals, their reverb, like anything that they make is going to be miles above anything else. They are the best circuitry, the warmest sound, the best compression, the nicest reverb. It's just, they're shit hot. I mean, you can't go wrong with anything that they build. So, and like I said, I've been playing through the Venue DI with a K&K for years. Like I've had that thing for 2 or 3 years now, and it's just deadly. It's just a beautiful sounding pedal, and it runs forever on a 9-volt battery. Like I got an entire tour out of one 9-volt in that thing, and Dave was over there with his Fishman box, plugged it in every night because the battery won't last a show. Bags, and it has a battery indicator on it. You just press the button and you see how much power you got. Like, such a great unit. So whatever you're using by them, I think I know what it is. I think I've seen it before, but you can't go wrong. Just can't go wrong with anything they do. So here's the LR Bags. Also, Dave Gunning's pickup of choice as well.
Yes.
The stage anthem, the stage pro, they call it. Kernerxt.
Highlighted chat from Joe McGraw.
Joe McGraw.
When you first started playing, did you memorize the E string tone to tune your guitar from a piano, or how did you do that?
I had a pitch pipe. My father had a round pitch pipe in a red plastic case, and I've always tuned my guitar to A. I tuned the A string first, and then went from there. And when you're first beginning, I don't even remember this. So long ago. But I originally started by doing like tuning off the unisons at the 5th fret. But that just didn't last long because my ear was so good when I was a kid. I didn't need to do that. I would find that A note, and then I would just tune off of that and temper the whole guitar inside chords. I don't, even to this day, I never tune strings open. I play chords, and if the chords aren't right, I tune the guitar. And that's called tempering, so that the guitar is in tune no matter where you're playing it. And the better the guitar, the less tempering is needed to make it be in tune with itself in every key. Next.
Super chat from Gregory Oras.
That's new.
I think so.
Hey, Gregory. Welcome
I'm
to
probably saying his name wrong. I have watched every string theory since day one in the past month.
Sweet.
Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Dave Gunning is now one of my favorite artists.
Dave is a man. Love him to death. We'll be starting phone's going dead. Next.
Yeah, your Christmas tour starts next week.
Next week, yeah. Starting
PE1. In PE1.
PE1. Next.
Super chat from Stephen Baker.
Stephen Becker.
Do the carbon fiber guitars change in sound like the Dead Tree ones, or is a tone whatever useful on them? Or a tone traveler, a tone whatever. Yeah.
On graphite, on carbon fiber?
Yeah.
No, carbon fiber is what it is.
They don't ever change, revolve.
Although I'm not so sure, but I could be losing my mind. But I think that this guitar here actually started to get better as I was playing it. The first day I got it.
You might be hallucinating.
No, I don't think I was. I'm not sure.
How would it change, though?
I have no idea. But we'll find out, because I'm going to have this on the road with me. I'm taking this on the tour.
Science
because the
me
weather's
that,
so
Batman.
crap. I mean, you can leave this in a snowbank and it'll still be A440 the next morning. So indestructible. Next.
A question from Bram Avery.
Yes.
Curious if the album Leather and Dust was named after Coot's underwear collection.
That's right. Yeah. His ass is leather and Yeah, never mind.
Never mind.
Okay. Is that all?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just... There's a super chat without a question.
I check to see how many days we get left before the draw. 1. Let's see. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So we have 4 more. Okay, so cool. 2. That's perfect. We'll have 2 per night, and then we'll be. Yeah. We got just doing some math there so I can get the right amount of people in. Mm-hmm. We only got 6 spots left.
We've got a highlighted chat from Jason Valcourt.
Jason, how you doing, buddy?
Member for 24 months. Which Boucher would you put in the same category as Yari FYM 66 HD?
I think that's the Dragon he's talking about.
I think so.
The 60 is a little the OM. Oh, God. Well, it would have to be one of their dreadnoughts, right? God, I don't know the model numbers of the Bouchers. I can never remember them. They're too complicated. But that guitar would stand against, for instance, Boo Boo, which is a mahogany dread, or perhaps. I don't know. Like the Rocket, but the Rocket's got a torrified top, and it's rosewood back and sides. Boo Boo was probably the one, and I'd say the Yeri has a bit more bite than Boo Boo, because Boo Boo is refined. She's been played for 10 years, and the Dragon, as I call her, she's got a lot of life, and the mahogany is brighter because it's 50 years old. And so, yeah, but that's where I would be. And they're easily comparable. The stuff that comes out of Kani, Japan, is unbelievable.
So the one he's mentioning is a Honduran OM, all Honduran OM.
Oh, that one. Well, again, it would probably be like the Ivory Girl. The Ivory Girl is Adirondack and Bubinga. So Bubinga is sort of a mahogany type wood. It's got the bright warmth of mahogany. So that would probably be it. Yeah. That OM is the Yeri OM is another masterpiece, right? Built out of that same accidentally found 50-year-old pallet of Honduran mahogany, right? So yeah, that would be the closest thing. Would be the Bubinga, was that? So that's the Ivory Girl. She's got that pink back and sides, sitting very mahogany-like. So yeah, it's cool. They are, and Robin loves those guitars. He played them when they came here, and he couldn't get over it. Beautiful instruments. Go next.
I lost it, but the question was, does that Emerald have a carbon fiber bridge and saddle, or?
Yes, it's all entirely carbon fiber. Graphtec makes the nut. Not to get into a big review here, but Graphtec makes the nut and the saddle assembly, which is unbelievable. You wait till you see this guitar reviewed, it'll blow your head off. I can't even believe it myself. Yeah. Come next.
That I think is it.
All right, so the question for tonight is to get two of the spots left, number 45 and number 46, is what is the name of the company that makes our Tone Traveler?
Mm-hmm.
What is the name of the company that makes the Tone Traveler?
What's up, Jack?
'Tis the question. Let's see if I can...
People have been guessing. Before you ask the question, people have been guessing what the answer is going to be. One of the answers was, where is it? Anne-Marie live at the Expo in 86.
The fuck? No music. You got no music.
Oh, well, you play something on your fancy
Well, because
guitar.
I got to
Your
wait for
fancy
this
pants?
answer. Who's getting the answers yet?
I'm just waiting for you to play some music.
Well, I can't do that right.
Okay.
Who's first?
Michael LeBlanc has Dr. Herringbone.
That is the right answer. Michael LeBlanc is not here yet.
I don't think so.
Yep, you're in, Michael. Number 45. Send us an email at jpcormier38@gmail.com, so we'll have your contact info. Who's next? Number 46.
Flat Out Pickin'.
Oh. They're already on. Number 43.
Already there. Already. Jesse Meador.
Jesse. You're number 46, Jesse.
There we go.
How do you spell that?
Jesse.
Yeah.
SSE. Meador.
Jesse sent us an email at jpcormier38@gmail.com. You will be on the list, and you will be seeing more of this guitar. See you next week on String Theory. String Theory thing.